Hi guys, so this is my over droning series. I originally recorded this game live, but I wasn't recording my voice, so here I am just going over the replay. I'm going to remove my opponent's vision because it's all about my thought process, and seeing the opponent is gonna muddy that. So the idea is I'm gonna drone as much as possible. Um, I am not uh, I didn't lose games purposefully on this because the purpose is to lose games, um, and go over the replay. So I didn't make my account E rank. Right here, I'm just droning. One of the things I end up doing is making an 8 overlord. The purpose is I'm not trying to go for pro build orders. I'm coming up with I want to build as many drones as I can, watch the replay, see when I'm making too many drones, make adjustments, and pretty much make my own build orders. And Zerg luckily has that because of how Larva works, and we could end up creating multiple workers off of the same hatchery, while other races actually can only build one at a time. So here we are. Um, So one of the things I'm going for right here is I'm building drones until I reach 300 minerals. But in the future, when I realize when I'm getting close to 200 minerals, that's when I could pull the drone. So this game, I end up building a hatchery at 380 minerals. So let's watch this drone go. We're watching the minerals. It's close to 400. Yeah, 390. I'm sending my overlord to my opponent's natural base. You could usually get more information out of that. I could see that he scouted that way first, and I could see basically his pool timing based off of his hatch timing. So far, I do not see a hatch. So what I ended up doing is keep on droning. I ended up hitting 200 minerals at 13 supply, so I threw down my spawning pool then. I see a drone go down, so I think it's like a 12, 12 hat, not a 12 hatch, a 12 pool into like 12 hatch or something. And then another drone comes down, but I think that's just bad rallying or a drone scout. So we end up seeing what that drone. And yeah, the whole point of this is just to build drones. When you lose a game, when you're building too many drones, you could get instant feedback. Okay, I built too many drones here. So you watch the replay, find out what your opponent is doing, and realize how many drones you should build in this situation. Now, I'm not going to be able to get to like pro level or like even my max rank doing this because pro build orders are good, but I feel like you need some fundamentals before you tackle those build orders, and even understand what they're doing. So what I end up trying to do is kill this sunken with my drones, but unfortunately it survives, so I feel like I should just pull these back. Let's see if I pull it, lose any drones. No, I don't. And then I have this sunken going, and my drones did enough damage on here. And so I feel like I'm pretty good right here. And I'm going to have a sunken. So great positioning. I have my overlord. I'm seeing what his larva is doing. And I really don't see anything right now. I don't know if he has Ling sitting at his natural. I should probably pull this overlord to the natural sooner. And I get gas because I know that in ZVZ, I'm not going to win by building a lot of drones without gas. Sure, I could get Ling speed, pull it off, and mass Lings, but the way I'm trying to win or lose in this series is by over droning. So here's something to look at throughout the game is just my drone numbers compared to his. And go ahead and move my overlord down to the natural, and I see that he's building a creep colony, which is signifying that he's playing defensive. I also see that he has a second gas, which shows that probably going to go for some Mutalisk play. So we'll see how I respond. I get my own gas. I end up going for a Hydra Den because I believe that if I build a few lurkers and some spores, I think I could build more drones. And that's my goal, is to build as many drones as possible. And as my minerals get higher, I realize I need to build more hatches. I could build a macro hatch in my base and be safe, but instead I choose to go for an expansion. I have my overlord. I see how many lings he has. I could respond with these lings and build more lings if I need. And the first thing I go for is not Hydra movement. Instead I went for lurker aspect, and I do that because I think this opponent has a greater likelihood of killing me with lings than mutas. Because I have so many drones, I could sacrifice drones to become spores without killing my economy. When you have low drone numbers and you build spores, it really depletes your economy because you have to sacrifice a worker and then spend money twice to create something. While like a Terran or a Protoss could put down a cannon or a turret, they don't lose any workers. Zerg is low on economy, builds static defense. It is very bad. So one thing with this type of style with high drone numbers is I could build static defense like Sunkens or Spores without worrying too much. Now here is something I made a mistake with. I decided not to build my macro hatch right here because I was worried about the larva positioning or units getting stuck. So I built it right here. So the larva end up spawning right here, and it makes a wall, and my hydras eventually need to go through the mineral line and bounce against the workers. Now throughout this entire game, what I'm doing is boxing my workers and trying to get about 9 workers for the mineral patches. Now I could probably have another worker here, but yeah. And I'm just sitting back. I see that he has a Spire, killed my Overlord with his Mutalisk, so I threw a Spore down. I have some Hydras here as well. Another Spore, more Hydras. Right here, I'm trying to get the Spores up. Luckily, he doesn't know about the third, so I don't think he would discover this base in the first place. And he could be harassing my gas workers, but instead I pull up some Hydras and just attack move. He accidentally moves into some Spore range. He does it again, kills one drone, but moves into Spore range. And if the player was more confident and better with his Mutalisk micro, I do think he would be tearing me apart. He does go for a third pretty early on in this matchup. Wonder why, whether it's because I'm going Hydras or whatever. But I am supply blocked here, and I do get supply blocked a lot in this series. The one thing I'm going to be working on is trying to build Overlords, and I think that's partially because I'm trying to speak while I'm playing these games. I did originally record this game commentating, but I end up not recording my voice. So I try to kill this base, and he coincidentally already had an Overlord move in this direction, so he actually clears this up, and I didn't unburrow my lurkers or anything. Another thing is I'm going lurkers and Hydras because I feel like I could win games off of my Muta Micro, and that wouldn't be part of the philosophy of this series. So I'm going more Hydras and just attack moving, showing the strength of a strong economy. So I get some more static defense. That even while building static defense, I still have lots of drones. And as I'm doing that, I'm getting Hydra attack range, not attack range, attack damage. And yeah, Biggest thing is my drone numbers, and I try to keep it saturated about 1 drone per mineral, but you could go up to 2 drones per mineral. Up to like 18 drones on a mineral line is going to get you more minerals. After 18, I think you do get more, but it's not as efficient. Kind of plateaus. So right here, I have my static defense, lots of drones, and you just keep on taking spore damage. His micro's not too good. Yeah, and I have a ton of drones, and that's my goal. And now I have a lot of larvae, and I could make a ton of hydras. Here's my hydra range now, which I didn't have before. I could have been quicker on my upgrades. So yeah, when I'm playing this game, I'm not going mouse only or anything fancy. I'm playing with the skills that I have, which are I'm control grouping my hatcheries 4 through 0. I usually put my bases sequentially in my macro hatches after. So this will be 4, this will be 6, 5, and then this will be 6, and this one will be on 7. But sometimes I'll have them out of order because of the order that they built. But now something that ends up happening, what I mentioned before, this makes a wall with the eggs, and my hydras don't get to my main very cleanly, and mutas will end up harassing me a lot. So with my good economy, I feel like I could get a upgrade advantage if I build 2 evos, and I'm also going for a hive because ideally I would like to get plague and also dark swarm. Defilers in late game ZVZ are very good. One thing about going Hydra Lurker is my lurkers are just because of I'm scared of Ling Swarm. If you're going Hydra and ZVZ, I feel like you could go purely Hydra. And here he is running into the base. He could have done a lot of damage if he committed to it, but he pokes in and pokes out. I'm going to go ahead and speed up the game, because right now I'm at a healthy drone count. And see, when I said that the Lings are more likely to kill me than the mutas, here's what I'm talking about. So he moves in onto this base, but he also moves in with his mutas into my main, which is a very good dual-pronged attack. Lurkers did a very good job of cleaning up those Lings at my third, and go ahead defend my main with my hydras. One thing I didn't do is send drones back to my main, 3 on gas, get 9 back on the mineral. Instead, I kind of keep them right here. So when he starts attacking and it turns into a base trade, I know that where his army is, and I know my army could attack, kill his, because he didn't keep his upgrades pumping. And that's one thing throughout the game that you should be doing, is just clicking on your opponent's army when you can. And just looking at their upgrades. And even though it looks like he has a lot of mutalisks, they don't have good upgrades. My hydras would be even better upgrades if he didn't kill my evo here. But yeah, here's my first over droning series, and it turned into a win. I think it's going to be more educational when I lose, and we'll find out in future games. Thank you.